UFC gods back in action.
Almost.
No?
Almost. Well, there was some negatives, but UFC 280 is in the books.
I was meaning us.
Oh, yeah.
We're the UFC
yes, we are the UFC gods. We are the UFC gods.
Yeah.
But yeah, UFC 280 is in the books, and we're here to talk about it pretty much.
Yeah.
Over in Abu Dhabi.
I'd say this is going to be probably like the most anticipated card of the year.
Oh, for sure.
Well, Islam versus Charles itself wasn't. It's almost like that's what we're getting, or what we got instead of Khabib versus Charles.
Yeah.
I'm
surprised this happened first time. Like, there was nothing.
There's nothing that fucked the card. I was waiting for it the whole time. I think everyone was, like, with the weight and everything, but it was all
It
good.
must have been rigged scales last time.
Yeah. Well, yeah, there's been a lot of shit about that. And the only reason I think it wasn't is just because of Charles previously. But that was at featherweight, right? Him missing weight previously.
Yep.
But yeah, anyway, UFC 280. How did it fare for you?
It was an early one. I said to myself, I went to bed at like 10:30 that night on the Saturday, because it's the Saturday night for us.
Yeah.
Wait, no, it's the Sunday morning for us.
Yeah.
And I went to bed at like 10:30, and I was like, for some reason I was tired, but I said, I'm not going to wake up instinctive. Like, I'm not going to wake up on purpose for this card. If I wake up, I wake up.
Yeah.
I ended up waking up at like 6:30.
You were too hyped. You were dreaming about Charles Oliveira.
Oh, unfortunately, that's all we did.
I pulled an all-nighter and regretted it. No, I didn't. It was worth staying up for, but afterwards I was dead.
Yeah.
Fucked.
But I mean, let's kick off with the should have been first fight on the prelims, which should have been on the main card, if that makes sense.
Yeah, we'll go from there.
Yeah.
Bilal Muhammad.
Fuck.
Versus Sean Brady.
Sean Brady, someone's O. Well, no, it's not even. Does Bilal still have his O?
No, I think it was like 20 wins and 3 losses.
Okay, that sounds about right. That. But Sean Brady, I was about to say Sean O'Brady. Sean Brady lost his O in what must be a first career finish for Bilal.
Yeah, Sean Brady. Right.
People hype him up so much.
That's what I was going to say. As the funniest shit ever when you're talking about the welterweight division and who's on the come up and everything.
Hamza Chimaev, Leon Edwards, Sean Brady.
It's always when it's like Hamza, talking about Hamza, Leon, Usman, the people at the top of the division, and then there's always people like Sean Brady's coming to take them all on.
The jiu-jitsu.
And I personally, obviously he's a good fighter, he was undefeated, but I was like, just slow.
Yeah, he's never done anything super impressive.
It always blew me away that people were like thinking he would just fight Hamza and just beat him right now.
Yeah.
By the sounds of it.
But to be fair, he's not someone that goes out and like is I'm the best, like I should be. He is like a silent. He's like putting in the work. So
it was more just like I was surprised how, because I didn't realise how he kind of has a little bit of a dedicated fan base out there.
The Philly.
I didn't realise the extent to what it was, and
to be fair, anybody that fights Bilal Muhammad, their fan base grows immensely because everyone wants Bilal to lose.
Yeah, true.
It's Bilal versus the world pretty much. And fair play to him, he did actually get the finish.
Bilal probably like the best performance of his career, I'd say. Like his
performance against like Wonderboy was pretty.
Yeah, but that was
I feel like
he showed like a new. I mean, obviously he doesn't have the best striking ever, and Brady is a grappler, but I feel like probably in the eyes of the fans, his best performance is because it wasn't the snooze fest.
Yeah, for sure. The coach Khabib.
Yeah. Khabib really he does seem to be taking fighters to another level, like the whole new, like, he can inspire them the way I feel other people can't.
Yeah.
And it's just the Russians are just built different, clearly.
Unfortunately.
Bilal, Sean just couldn't keep up with him on the feet, really. That was it.
I saw some people claimed early finish, but you didn't think it was, did you?
Fuck, not at all.
No.
He wasn't, I mean, if you want to see him get knocked out, all you Sean Brady fans, what, do you want to see? Did you want to see him getting knocked out? But no, it was just, he just got overwhelmed by Bilal, and Bilal was just putting in such a good work rate.
Bilal's cardio is insane.
Yeah.
Like, we'll give it to him. His pressure and stuff like that, he keeps going forward.
And he really he's just set on proving people wrong, I think. He gets probably shit on. Whether you think it's right or wrong.
Going much higher than this, though. No. Like, I couldn't see him beating a Leon. I mean, he was getting fucked up by Leon.
Well, yeah, that wasn't that long ago, but I still think he's gotten quite a bit better since then. But I still think Leon,
Leon, Hamza, Usman, Probably even Gilbert Burns.
But he is in that discussion now to be facing.
Give him a Jorge.
He's on such a big win streak, I think, now, isn't he? Like, what is it? I don't even know what it's on.
It depends. Like, if you're including the Leon situation, then
I honestly forgot they fought.
Yeah,
I honestly forgot they did. But yeah, like he's pretty much, he's right on the brink there. They'll be doing the Usman Leon rematch, but
you got to imagine it's him versus Hamzat or Colby versus Hamzat next. Probably.
Yeah, I think he's
in that number one contender. I think he's clear number one. I think it's like in the number one contender fight.
Hamzat, Colby,
Burns, Bilal.
Yeah, I feel like that's
because what's Burns doing? Is he holding out for a Jorge fight or something?
Unless you do Colby Burns and Hamzat Bilal, that would be satisfying. No.
Yeah.
To see him.
I mean, there would be like a wrestling masterclass.
I don't know.
You could almost feel like that would turn into a Usman Colby one.
I just want Colby to be the champion more than anything.
Nah, Leon's staying there.
I just want Colby to. He needs. He got the interim title that time, but he needs his actual. He needs to be undisputed. I mean, I feel like him as champion would just be so.
It would be fun.
He's been. What is he doing at the moment?
Court case with Jorge, I guess.
Yeah,
that's probably going on.
People. Everyone in every comment section about Colby Covington and talking about what fights he might be, everyone's just like, Colby's just scared to fight everyone, and I'm just like, I just don't believe that for a second. Like, how can you fight the number one pound for pound person? And
we need to talk about the pound for pound list.
Yeah, I'm keen to get onto that. But like, how can Colby be fighting the number one pound for pound fighter and arguably winning the second fight and was winning? Like, why would he be afraid to fight anyone?
He won the second fight in my opinion.
I thought he did too,
or a draw at least.
Yeah, so I just don't understand why people think he'd be afraid of fighting any of these people.
It's because he got sucker punched by Jorge.
I think it's just because they hate him, really.
Oh yeah, that for sure as well.
I mean, I don't know why he'd be afraid to fight any of these people because I think he's probably the hardest fight. And I don't know. I would love to see him versus Hamzat. I think that, and hopefully he wins as well. But anyway,
he's like the hardest. Obviously, like Usman is clear, but like in terms of a defined game, like if he gets his way, it's going to be like a long night for you. Colby is like right there.
I'd just love to see I want to see how good Hamzat can grapple against him. Like if he can do that.
Yeah.
Because we saw with Usman and Colby, like how it was kind of nullified almost. But then if Hamzat just goes in and ragdolls one of them, like I feel like there's no stopping him really.
How mad that Leon got the first official takedown on Usman.
Yeah. We should give it into 280 probably. That's where we started off. But we were getting distracted because I didn't want to talk about the next fight.
Yeah, well, first fight on the main card was Caitlin Chukagian versus the French chick.
Yeah, it didn't.
Or how does Brendan Schaub say it? Chudican. Caitlin Chudican.
He doesn't. He has his own language for everything.
Fuck him.
But he inspires me. So.
But yeah, the French chick won by decision.
Yep, I bet on Chukagian by decision because
I bet on the French chick by decision. Yeah, I got the first two on my verdict. I got the first two fights correct, and then I didn't get a single one correct for the rest of the night,
which is controversial. Which is ridiculous. Which we'll get to.
But up next was Benil Dariush versus what's his first name?
I think it's like Matthews.
I
don't know, but everyone just calls him Gamrot.
Gamrat.
Rat.
Yes.
Nazrat.
But this was an insane fight.
I loved this fight. I love Benil Dariush. He's really become a fighter I've loved to watch.
I was in the shower when this was on, so I actually missed it, and I went back and rewatched it last night.
It's good.
To your recommendation, and man, it was insane. Benil had like in my opinion, a sort of, I don't know what the word is, but like this was his star performance to me.
Yeah,
like he hasn't really impressed me. Obviously, 7-fight win streak, or it might even be 8 now, is it?
But a lot of them were against like unranked fighters.
Yeah, exactly. And he was getting wobbled and stuff. Like this was a really dominant performance.
And he just showed all assets of his game.
Everything.
And Gamrot,
he's an insane.
He's good. He's so good as well.
Yeah.
And was like kind of the hype job and arguably undefeated. Some would say. Going into this fight, and then Benil, he just showed how good he actually has become as of late.
Yeah, the wrestling, the scrambles.
I loved the scrambles, all the grappling. And, this is the grappling I absolutely love watching when they're both so high level, and just.
Benil,
such a good performance.
Benil in the first round, especially. Benil, I think he got taken down officially 3-4 times.
Yeah,
but I don't know if Gamrot got much after that round.
I thought Gamrot won the first round, to be fair.
I did as well.
Not like dominating or anything. I think
like the takedowns he got.
His grappling worked better in the first round, but then after that it was just completely shut down.
I think DC made a really good point. Like, I think he said that if this was anyone but Beneil Dariush, they would have ended up in like some really dangerous positions.
Yeah.
Like, I think he had his back a few times, and
Beneil would just roll through and just pull
he
off
was just
some
Tony
shit.
Ferguson right out of there. It was ridiculous.
Yeah, and then almost knocking him out. And
that was such a huge shot as well.
In the moment, I didn't even realise how hard it was, and then I watched the replay.
Sound of it,
I was like, fucking hell. Okay, because Beneil, he's been dropping, he's become really well-rounded as of this win streak,
Yeah, but then like in his previous performances, like it was the spinning back fist and the one against, who was it?
Drakkar Klose, when it was like
just
commentator cam.
Chet Congo versus Buddy Pat Barry, like fucking just swing for the wins. I
think that's what it was, because in those fights in some of them he was getting like these big finishes, but then at the same time he was like you were saying, he was getting damaged himself. But then this fight and the Tony fight, I mean Tony's old and kind of shit now, but even still, just like
this was more impressive to me than the Tony fight, for sure.
Oh, for sure.
Like, well-rounded,
for
like
sure.
Every aspect of mixed martial arts, he displayed it. I guess you could argue like jiu-jitsu, he didn't go for a submission, but he like held positions well. He escaped dangerous positions well. Was dangerous on the feet. His kicks were lethal.
Yeah,
and like he didn't get to, I think he got taken down like twice from his kicks, but it didn't deter him. He kept up with it. Some of his body kicks were just lethal, Like he's...
And then, I mean, he is arguably deserving of a title shot, or there's, like, you could have him go against Gaethje, or...
I'd rather see him get the title shot. I think, obviously, I don't see many people beating Islam. We'll get onto that, but... Man, Beneil would be right up
actually, Charles, a lot of people were saying Beneil versus Charles now for number one contender, since they'll be doing Volk versus...
I get the only argument Islam. You could make is Beneil was meant to be fighting Islam, and he's taken this fight. So
Beneil really did kind of get fucked over there,
but he did like injured himself. Like, didn't he break his leg or something? They said.
Yeah, and then Islam didn't want to fight Adio. Was that same time?
He fought Hooker instead, didn't he? Was that not that fight?
I don't know. Handing him a dub, but I mean, yeah.
But yeah, moving on
to. I
don't want to talk about it.
I'm ready. I'm so ready. I feel like every time we've ever talked about the UFC, I'm always like, I'm just not on the same wavelength as any other MMA fan I see on social media, because I always have such a clear view of what I'm watching.
Originally,
and then I go into the social media and it's just like they've saw an entirely different fight every single time.
I didn't want to look at social media after this card because of Charles losing. I didn't want to see Islam as the champ, but that has now turned into, I do not want to go into any single comment section or video about this fight, because I have no idea how people can say that Sean O'Malley won this fight.
Neither.
Petr Yan, this is the biggest robbery I've ever witnessed.
This is the biggest robbery I've ever seen.
This is bigger than Pettis versus Cerrone. Then, like, give me more example. Like,
any of them. Legitimately, this was the biggest robbery I think I've ever seen as well.
I've rewatched this twice now.
Yeah.
And I have no idea. I
was like the Hamzat Gilbert fight. I was like so certain.
Oh my god!
It didn't even cross my mind that people would have even thought Sean O'Malley won.
So round one was for sure the closest. In my personal opinion, I gave it to Yan, but I for sure could see how you could give it to O'Malley. He was sort of landing more.
I thought O'Malley just used his reach really well in the first round and was like, he actually made himself difficult to hit, I thought, for a lot of it.
It's one of those rounds
he just seemed more active, like even though it all wasn't maybe necessarily connecting, I just thought his activity got him that first round.
I mean, that's the thing. It's one of those rounds where you can either take into account, like Yan got some takedowns. I think he might have only got one, but like I think the round ended almost on the ground, with 30 seconds left. I think they stood up, but then you've got O'Malley, who was throwing more and landing, but because there was no big shots from either side, it's like a close one. Round two for sure clear is Yan.
Yeah,
I don't think anyone can
Sean's
argue
still
that.
having some decent moments, but like this is where the grappling came into it. Sean, he seemed to be tiring out a bit to me. Not like gassed out, but he just seemed to be slowing down kind of a little compared to what he was in the first round. Like, he was still throwing with power. Like, he cracked Jan, but then Jan, it was like I was saying...
Well, yeah, everything that O'Malley landed or threw, or people would say damaged him with, in my opinion, Jan landed with more.
Yeah.
Like, he did more damage straight after. But yeah, I think, round 2 was clearly Jan. And then round 3, again, clearly Jan.
It just seemed like Jan was fucked up, like, because he was covered in blood, but there was literally one shot that bloodied him.
People were saying, like, O'Malley on the significant strikes in round 3, it was so clear. Jan couldn't hold him there. Like, first off, the round ended on the ground, like, with Jan on top, ground and pound. I can't actually remember much that O'Malley, like, he landed at, a knee? And then a head kick.
I just don't understand,
That blows my mind.
Sean O'Malley himself didn't think he won, so...
And obviously he's saying now, like, I won. Obviously he's going to say that, but you can really tell in that moment he did not believe in his heart of hearts that he won that fight, and I think that is very telling. Like, credit to him, I think we all kind of wrote him off. Saying,
well, that's the thing, I not completely wrote him off,
no,
but
I fully did.
We just haven't seen him face anyone near this caliber, and... Like, with his last fight, it's just all O'Malley's fucking fights, people just have shit opinions. Like, remember his fight against Pedro Munoz?
Yeah.
I for sure thought Pedro Munoz won that first round. And
he did.
And everyone was like, is this just O'Malley casuals who just don't watch
and it's the casuals
MMA?
that call people the casuals, like...
Yeah.
And I've seen so many people go on about this new MMA, this new judging criteria.
I don't even know what it is.
Like,
people write off
ridiculous.
Like grappling. They're like, if you get a takedown and it doesn't even do anything, then who even cares? It's like, okay, so if someone took down Khabib for a few seconds, no, it just doesn't matter. Like, it doesn't even matter.
like
not obviously he's not Khabib, but like I just feel
you saw the backstage reaction to Khabib. He was like, how?
I just thought, like, I feel like people just write off grappling. Like, I feel like a takedown actually does mean, like, it takes skill to take someone down. Otherwise, like, people wouldn't be having these high takedown defense percentages. And like, I feel like it actually does mean something, even though, like
look at the Beneil fight. If you think about if Gamrot got all those takedowns, you would have given like him the fight.
So whenever you play UFC 4, like, all you need to do is get taken down once and you lose the decision.
Yeah.
So, like, if we're judging it off that.
But yeah, I just don't.
I thought for sure. But again, like, O'Malley did way better than I thought he was going to give him credit there. And like I said, I gave him the first round, but like
he got
a lot of people
rocked hard as well. He like had some good recovery.
Showed he's good. Like, he honestly,
I mean, I guess he's never been hit before, so he probably should have a fresh chin.
Like, he actually showed like he can actually grapple like defensively well. Even though like Jan was able to take him down a few times, I feel like he did not hold him. Like, obviously he's big ass for that weight class. It probably makes it easier to get.
That's what I was going to say. That height difference is like ridiculous.
Which I think Jan was struggling a bit to begin with, but then kind of settled into it a bit more. But yeah, O'Malley, like, even though he lost, that's the thing though. That's why I'm like, he didn't need this win. Like, if Jan had won, O'Malley. His stock rose anyway because he showed he could. This was literally against the number one contender, which now he is.
It fucking blows my mind.
So I think you have to do versus Cheeto like the number one contender match. I reckon. I just think you have to do that.
I mean, I guess you argue like if he's the number one contender, then why couldn't he face Aljo now? Like, he's just beaten the number one contender.
Yeah,
that would be, and then you could do Marab versus.
Marab is just the most uninteresting fighter.
It's because he's fucking Aljo's little dick rider. Yeah. Like, that is the reason why I have no interest in him, because I know that they're never going to fight. Like, what is the point in him being there occupying these spaces if he's never actually going to challenge for a title?
I mean, we'll just get to Aljamain's fight now because we've kind of led into it a bit more. So we had Aljamain Sterling versus TJ Dillashaw. TJ Dillashaw came back from EPO. Didn't even beat Sandhagen to get this fight, but I mean, that's an argument in itself. And yeah, I like Aljamain.
This is what I said. The Aljo Redemption Tour. This is what it is.
I love how much people hate Aljamain. I love going through comment sections at how how mad he makes people is honestly just hilarious to me.
Look, no doubt, after the first Yarn fight,
that fucked me off for sure.
He's a little bitch for how he took that.
Yeah, that did really, because Aljamain Sterling was literally like one of my favourite fighters in the UFC.
Yeah,
I was so behind.
After that first Sandhagen win as well, like
yeah, like even before that, whenever he was on a card, I was always so looking forward to it.
Except when he got knocked out by Marlon.
Yeah. And then, yeah, for sure, like, when that first Yarn fight happened, he for sure milked that. Like, there's no denying that he was acting his ass off to get that one, and he could have. It should have just been
should
have vacated the belt.
Well, no, it should have just been a no contest. I reckon.
I reckon Yarn should have. Like, I reckon you should have to vacate if you do something that bad. If the champion gets DQ.
Sorry, I agree. Yes, it should have just gone. Like, it should have been a no contest.
I don't know. It's interesting.
And vacate,
I don't know. And then with the second fight.
Controversial
close
again.
Fight for sure, but like us, it was kind of like the O'Malley thing as well. It was like he was able to prove that he could actually hang with him.
Yeah.
With his grappling, and I think the first time I watched it, I scored it a draw. It really just depends, like how it's that thing with the grappling again. Like if you're holding someone down for like an entire round. Like, do you just give it a 10-8? Like, they haven't been able to do...
Yeah.
Like, you've literally...
Like, you've
been able to hold... So, for me, I think... Like, I don't know. It was a close fight, but, again, it was just...
I guess it's different. Like, if someone, like, Connor goes and holds down, like, even, like, a Gaethje for a full round or something, I would give that, like, a 10-8.
Yeah.
But someone that is, like, as well-rounded and well-versed in wrestling as Aljo, maybe not.
I don't know.
But it's the past.
That's why the fight was controversial for the decision. Because it literally, I think, just depends how you score it. And then, his fight against TJ Dillashaw, this was the most satisfying. Like, TJ Dillashaw has always been in the argument for my least liked fighter in the UFC all the time.
And then I have to get the reaction to losing to Cejudo for starters.
Not even that, just every fight he's lost.
Well, yeah, that. But, like, just the way he didn't accept it, thought it was an early finish. And then he goes and tests positive. Like, he comes back, fights Sandhagen. I'm not going to say whether he won or lost that because, again, who knows with decisions these days. Like, he's just a little bitch, and he's been dealing with this shoulder injury since April, I think they said.
Yeah, it did annoy me though, because it is one of those things like every single loss TJ's had, it's either been like an early stoppage or a close split decision.
Yeah.
So he's always had some reason to be able to bitch about how he thought he won the fight, and like TJ, to me, he's always just been so arrogant. Like, never... He's just a sorest... There's literally a video on YouTube, TJ Dillashaw sorest loser in the history of the UFC. And, like, it just makes him so unlikable.
I don't know. Dominic Cruz.
And then testing positive on top of that. And then there's stories about him, like, going so hard in training and, like, injuring, like, all his partners and shit. Because, like, he really just does seem like a fucking arrogant guy all the time. And this fight was the most satisfying thing I've ever seen.
So his shoulder pops out, like...
Yeah.
Probably within a minute, and then Aljo just takes him down for the first round pretty much and holds him there.
Distraught, like
ground and pound as well.
It was like 80 strikes to like 1,
which was so satisfying.
So literally give it like the 10-5.
You probably could have stopped it in the first round, to be honest. Like, there were some shots.
Yeah, and he clearly just couldn't defend himself. And then it's like it's the thing again where everyone's like, oh. Yeah, Aljamain getting the lucky win again because TJ's injured. Ridiculous. It's like, well, first of all, TJ's the one who went in there with the injury. Like, you can't blame Aljamain. This is what I don't get.
He was like, I didn't want to lose like my championship shot. But it's like, by going in here and it being incapacitated,
you're gonna lose.
Like, you're losing it anyway. At least like have this injury and then you have a reason to potentially have another title shot.
Yeah, and obviously it was like a bad injury or whatever, but fighters are literally injured in every single fight. Like Robert Whittaker bet Yoel Romero after breaking his hand in the first round.
Volkanovski thrashed Holloway as well with the broken hand.
It might have been. I think, maybe it was.
No, it definitely was Holloway as well.
It's like.
But then, Darren Till completed a full 5 rounds with Robert Whittaker with a bloody torn ACL or whatever.
Fucking Thiago Santos didn't have a knee against John Jones.
Like, and we're not saying that TJ isn't, like, it's not as cool because it was only dislocated shoulder, but, like, it almost felt like he just didn't even try.
I'm not trying to, as much as I don't really like him, I'm not trying to discredit it for him. I'm more just... I think it might have been Chael, or I don't even know who said it, but they were like, if Dillashaw, I think Aljamain might have said it himself, actually. He said if Dillashaw would win in there with an injury and then knocked Aljamain out, then everyone would have been like, oh, Aljamain, you got knocked out by an injured fighter.
Yeah,
so, like, really, exactly. There was no winning, like, whatever. No. And then, like, the performance was so dominant anyway. Like, you see fighters, it's like we're even just saying Jones and fucking Thiago Santos, like, Santos was on one knee and Jones, like, he wasn't putting up fucking 10-6 rounds against him, was it?
Yeah.
So, like, I still think it's credit to Aljamain with how dominant he was still able to make this. And yeah, I loved it. I'm going to be watching this all the time whenever TJ fucks me off.
Yeah, this is very satisfying.
And yeah, I guess
now, what do you do?
They want to line up Cejudo, and then
I don't know why they're even bothering to do that.
Just nobody cares. Cejudo, no one ever cared about Cejudo.
I think Cejudo probably weighs the same amount as me.
Yeah.
And he's fucking 4 meters shorter than me. Like, he is in no shape to be fighting. He doesn't deserve to be fighting. Like, sure, you're a triple champ, but if you disappear for this long, there are fighters that have earned that spot now. Like, come back and be a contender.
People were saying as well, it was like, Cejudo, he got into all these positions, but, like, I don't know, like, no one ever really wanted him, and it kind of just came and went out of nowhere without anybody ever caring.
Yeah, it went so quick. That's the thing.
Like, he beat Demetrius in a fight which no one thought he was going to win on a split decision, so, I mean, that's arguable as well. Then, so they just kind of felt inclined to book him against TJ.
And his title reign was so dead as well.
Yeah. Well, because they were setting up for the longest time Demetrius versus Dillashaw, but then Demetrius lost and got traded,
which was debatable.
So they were kind of just like, oh yeah, I guess. Well, they really just did it because they wanted to end the flyweight division. Remember, they wanted TJ to come in and end the flyweight division, and then so like he was like below Muhammad almost as champion. Like he just ends up winning these fights. So, and then, like, he never really gave anyone any reason to care about him, I think.
I mean this when I say this. Cejudo, like, he's a great fighter. Nowhere near the GOAT conversation, in my opinion. I think his name, he will go down in history as, like, a name alongside the others in triple and double champ.
It's insane, the accomplishments he's got on, like, double champion and everything. Like, I forget that.
No, can I just say, nobody gives a fuck about his gold medal, by the way.
Oh, no.
Triple C. No. Like, this is fucking, like, fuck off. I don't give a fuck about that. Like, but I truly think that he will go down. This isn't saying he isn't a great fighter, because he was, obviously. But I think, like, when you think back on the greatest, like, small fighters, he won't be up there. His name will be there because he is a double champion.
I don't even know if that's a controversial take. Like, I feel like nobody likes Cejudo. Like, you respect his accomplishments, but just... I don't know, there's just no reason to care about him, because no one cared about him.
Both divisions are so much more exciting without him there.
Yeah, exactly. Well, they literally became more exciting once he left both divisions. And then, so I just don't care about that. Then I guess we'll move on to the main event now. Islam against Charles Oliveira. Charles Oliveira obviously been on an absolute tear, just running through number 1 contenders for fucking ease, biggest finish in the history of the UFC. Islam, I'll be honest, like
has fought tin cans. Like we'll call it how it is. He has fought nobody. You could almost say he needed like one more big one to get this title shot.
Yeah, I didn't think Islam was deserving of this title shot at all. I don't care about his win streak. Like, he didn't fight anybody in
Dan
the
Hooker
top.
On short notice was his biggest win.
Dan Hooker was like 6th or 7th ranked, coming off losses, and he was just coming off short notice. And then literally fought fucking Bobby Green, who wasn't even ranked in his last fight.
Yeah, like, what the fuck?
And these are all strikers who he could easily just ragdoll. And then, so, I mean, it's like people were just thinking it was Khabib. Like, they were just acting like it was Khabib versus Charles. Like, that's why they were just pretending Islam was Khabib.
And it almost was, like...
Yeah, I mean, I guess
it must have been you that said, like, embedded was just Khabib.
Yeah.
Like, the videos and stuff, they were just...
All the promotion, everything was all just been Khabib. It's like they were just acting like it was Khabib. Like, they're just protected. And that's the thing that kind of annoys me about Islam. Like, he doesn't really have any identity as a fighter.
Except Habib's little brother.
It's just Khabib just still in the spotlight for 24/7. But regardless of it, the fight happened and Islam won pretty much the way which you would kind of think he would if he was going to win.
Which, like, to be honest... Lots more people could have beaten Charles if they just did what Islam did. Well, okay, debatable.
Chandler did that though, and he couldn't finish.
Okay, that's why I say like if you are someone that has like good submissions, like someone like Beneil, if Beneil dropped Charles,
that's what I was thinking because we talked about this last night. Yeah.
And that's because Charles gets dropped all the time. This is the reason, like his chin does suck, and he got dropped by Poirier, by Gaethje, and now by Islam.
And by Chandler as well.
And by Chandler as well. Yeah, exactly. But the thing with the difference was that Islam jumped on him when he got dropped, like straight away. People are cautious too because of his submissions and stuff. But
I wonder if he got the laser eye surgery, like if he just
should have kept the contacts in.
Would he get head movement?
But does he even wear contacts?
I don't think he does because he wears glasses.
Blind.
He wears glasses to the cage and then takes them off. So
wonder if he can go redo the surgery.
He's just trying to fight on veteran difficulty.
Yeah.
But, so Islam dropped him in the second round and just put the triangle choke in and won the belt.
Sucks that he got subbed as well.
Yeah.
That's the worst part.
But I mean, I feel like he'll be back for sure. Like he's been on such a win streak and
give me this rematch in Brazil. Like Charles takes it 100%.
And I guess the good thing about Islam having fought no one on the way up is now like he has the entire top 10 to face. But then at the same time,
the problem is Charles has made everyone look so. Charles has killed everyone. I don't give a fuck about Poirier. I don't give a fuck about Gaethje. Chandler is the person I care about the most.
Yeah, me too. And I saw someone say now like you're never going to hear about anyone wanting to face Islam after they've all been smashed by Charles and then Islam rolled them. I mean, like who's going to be calling out Islam? Like there's going to be no one that you can. Think
there is one person that's been lined up, Alexander Volkanovski.
Yeah, which I just don't know. I really don't know at all.
I think he gets absolutely murdered. I love Volk. He's one of my favourite fighters. I think he gets absolutely murdered by Islam.
Yeah.
I just don't see any possible way that he wins this fight.
There's just no grappling that you can. It's a thing people say with the Dagestani grapplers, like you just can't even train for it really.
Like there's no one even comparable to an Islam in like the featherweight division.
Yeah. I
mean, Volk's thing is like volume and cardio. Islam, apart from the one time, has got a good chin, so he's probably not going to get finished. He's never going to take him down.
I feel like Volk
is just, he's so small.
Yeah.
Like
he is pretty strong though.
But
he has fought in heavy weight classes.
That was years ago though. I don't see any way that he can win this fight.
I don't know. I'm not going to count him out.
I think I'll count him out.
We don't know, or we don't even know like how we'd even fight.
I mean, that fight might not even happen. So
yeah, like they're hyping up now, but yeah, it's like you never know with the UFC. What they're gonna do.
I mean, Conor could come back, and then what? I hate him.
Conor's, and should we get on to Conor? We can talk about Conor for a bit because there's been a bit about it. Like all he does is tweet now.
Tweet after fights.
Like is he even?
No, he's not in the he's not in the testing pool.
Like I think he's clearly on roids. If anyone just fucking looks at the size. What
is he on though? He's on coke. He's on roids. No doubt he does like ketamine on the side.
He's a human drug, but like he's absolutely the fact he's coming off an injury, he's absolutely jacked, and he's not in the USADA testing pool. Just tells me it tells you all you need to know. Really,
it's just gonna his leg's just gonna get snapped in once he goes off those drugs. That's the problem.
The more he tweets, it's him thinking he's keeping himself relevant. I think it's doing the opposite.
He's doing a Kanye.
And it's like, you're not beating any of these people either. Like,
would you welcome him back? Like, if the UFC said, we'll bring back Conor for one last fight against Islam.
I'm fine with him retiring. Like,
would you not love to see Islam absolutely choke him out, though?
I still like Conor as much as he annoys me. Like
I like the old Conor.
Yeah,
I miss the old Kanye.
Yeah, but it's one of those things. He really has just already. He did everything so fast that I feel like people just credit him because they're just like, I don't know. They act like his accomplishments mean nothing for some reason, even though he just came in and did it so quick. But like he's not beating.
I mean, he's
any
like
of these fighters.
2 wins. You could argue he's like 2 wins away. What back in the day he was 2 wins away from being like what Volk is now. Like if he went and defended the title against Jose in featherweight.
I just don't care about Conor. But I feel like him.
Oh no, but I mean like we look at Volk as this great champion, like pound for pound number one. If Conor had gone and defended once and then gone up and taken...
Defended once. Well, that's all people say. Like, well, I mean, all the criticism against Conor is all the like.
He hasn't defended.
It's the most overblown shit in the history of the UFC.
I'm not holding it against him though. I just mean people talk about how good Volk is, but he's like not that far ahead of Conor in terms of accomplishments. I think. I guess actually no, he probably is. Like the amount of shit he's done. I don't know, but Conor's Conor will go down in UFC history as one of the greatest. Not
anybody. Well, it's literally just the Khabib fight really was the one that just made. It's not even. I feel it's just Russian. It's like because you see it in. I see it in every comment section. It's always like that. You can tell from the grammar structure. And the brother at the end of every sentence, you just know it's Russian.
Yeah, brother.
Because before that, I feel like, he literally destroyed Eddie Alvarez to become double champ with absolute fucking
that
ease.
Is such a satisfying fight.
It's the thing with MMA fans. Like I honestly wouldn't have any loyalty to them if I was a fighter because they just turn on you in a fucking dime.
You're only as memorable as your last fight.
Exactly, and I feel like Conor is the epitome of that to everybody. And like, I've never seen any fighter get more shit for getting submitted ever in my life.
And he lasted, he did quite well against Khabib.
It's like, okay, he got submitted by Khabib.
Would you say he had the most impressive, not according to Joe Rogan, because it'd be L.I. Quinta, but would you say that he had the most impressive performance against Khabib?
I mean...
He won a round, took 4 rounds to get submitted. Know. Or like the other argument is people are like, Khabib was playing with his food.
Well, that's the thing. It's like Dustin every single round got ragdolled and then submitted. Conor at least actually kept on the feet and arguably won a round. But then all you ever see is every comment saying how he tapped. It's like, he tapped to the greatest lightweight and one of the greatest grapplers in the history of the MMA.
Yeah.
It's just it fucks me off. But then I guess with the way he acts now, people just justify it by saying he just acts like a dick. So just whatever. I mean that's But
back to lightweight. So Islam is supposedly facing Volk. What do you see next for Charles?
I think Beneil. I think it's a good number one contender fight.
Yep. But then if Charles wins that, then do you run it back?
Yeah, because. Yeah, I reckon you do.
Would you rather say...
It's just annoying that he didn't lose the belt in that fight, I reckon. Even though everyone acknowledged him as the champion
I don't even consider that a thing. He just was the champion.
Yeah, well...
I didn't realise that Dana said that to him cage side after he finished bloody Justin. How he was like, oh...
You're the champ?
No, he's like, you missed weight, you're not the champ, you're number one contender now.
Oh, is that what he said?
Yeah. I didn't realise that.
Dana...
Fuck Dana.
Fuck Dana.
Yeah, but it's just... I guess that'd be a fun fight to do.
Yeah.
It will depend... When's Chandler Poirier?
It's 282, I believe.
Oh, fuck. That's still so far away. What's 281?
Is that Glover? No?
I don't know. You got your phone there. Google it.
Yeah, I can get it up quickly.
Well, yeah, I mean...
we got fucking Adesanya vs Pereira. That's what it is. And then
I'm excited for that.
Maybe 282 is Glover vs Yuri, and then we got Dustin on the undercard.
Am I excited for bloody Izzy versus Pereira?
Only if Izzy gets knocked out.
Yeah, what if he doesn't?
Then, yeah, I guess...
We must have a Koikata France fight on that card.
Nah, I think he's gone...
No way.
I think he's gone back to the B Leagues.
No.
I don't know.
He was so close.
Yeah, I'll get 281 up though. We can just have a look at
what do we got?
So we got Adesanya vs Pereira main eventing clearly. Esparza vs Zhang Weili. Sure, is that the most first round knockout in the history of MMA?
Yeah, for Carla Esparza. She's gonna finish Zhang Weili.
Spinning back kick, and then we got Dustin Chandler. I want Chandler to win, but I don't know.
So that's 281.
Yes, yeah. Oh,
so when's this? This is next month. This must be under a month away. Does it just say December 1st?
It's in 2 weeks.
What?
Yeah, November 12th.
Oh, fuck.
MSG.
That would be a huge card then.
Frankie Edgar, why is he still fighting?
This is his last fight, they've said, though. Dan Hooker, fuck
should
off,
be his
Dan
last
Hooker.
fight as well.
Brad Quaidel
should be his last fight. Look, it's actually a decent prelim card. We got Reyes versus Span.
Dominic Reyes.
Yeah, Dominic Reyes is fighting on that card, returning after... He hasn't fought...
Do you reckon he could come down to middleweight?
I don't know.
Like when you see the size of
he's
6'4". Yeah, but remember that photo of him and Peter next to each other?
Actually, yeah. Anyone can. I feel like anyone can go down a weight if he can.
Could that be a good career move for him? I wonder.
I don't know.
What a downfall, though. Like almost beating John Jones. Well, beating John Jones in some people's opinion.
Yeah.
To losing 3 on the trot and getting brutally finished in a lot of those.
Well, I thought he was going to beat Jan in that fight for sure, because I was like, I mean, Jan, he pretty much knocked out people with no chin. Like, he knocked out Luke Rockhold and then knocked out Corey Anderson.
Respect to Corey Anderson.
And then
both people that said they could beat John Jones.
And then Reyes arguably beat John Jones. So I was like, oh, for sure he's winning, but then he got.
I just love the nose break first.
What? And then he's still trying to fight.
Yeah, and then it's like,
yeah, and then it's
like the Yuri fight after as well, where it's just the spinning
so
elbow.
Much damage back to back. That is so. I mean, that
must have been like 3 years ago. He's taken a lot of time off.
Yuri was that'll be like 1.5 years ago by the time he fights.
Jeez.
And the Jan fight was about half a year before that one. The John fight was half a year. So it was
3 in a row, including the John fight. That's right.
So in 2 years, he said 3 fights. Feels like a lot longer. I feel like
we'll talk about Jones quickly.
Ages. Well, yeah, I was going to bring that up. Next.
He's
John
tweeted
Jones.
that he's training for the Stipe fight in December.
Yeah, which I just...
And Stipe posted photos of him training not long afterwards. Whether that's for firefighting duties or fighting, that's yet to be seen.
At this point, I don't even really care about... Like, it's just I don't know, I miss Stipe.
Oh. I think Stipe one of the most disrespected fighters
for sure.
of all time.
Is. But John, like, I really just don't care about this. Like, I'm just so focused on the now. Like, you've got all these. I feel like you've got all these.
We say that though. Like that fight could be. It's like not even 2 months away though if it happens.
I know, but it's just John Jones. Like, I'm ready to just.
It's almost, you almost want him to lose that just so that it's finished. We don't have to worry about it anymore.
It's more like I want that era of fighters to kind of just fade off now. Like there's like a whole bunch of new fighters. I feel like that should get the focus on them.
Is Stipe included in that? Because in my opinion, like nobody even comes close to Francis, apart from a Stipe, a John Jones, or a Cyril Gane. I still think Cyril Gane won that fight. I would die on my...
I feel like you're like the only...
No, I know I'm not the only one. I know. I've spoken to other people and they agree with me.
I've never seen anyone even...
No, trust me. I have videos saved of people agreeing with me.
But I don't know. Especially like with John Jones' last few performances are like heavyweight, kind of underwhelming.
So boring and so dead.
It's just like he literally was below Muhammad.
The last fight he had was... the Gustafsson fight.
It wasn't that good of a fight either.
Well, no, not good, but the last, it was a finish, at least, like...
like, that's what I'm meaning, though. It's like...
When the fuck even was that? Like,
your legacy's set already as the greatest fighter of all time. Like, I don't think even getting the heavyweight belt even does anything.
I think he wants to do the GSP, go up for one fight, win it.
But he's not even... That's the thing as well, he's not even going up to fight for the belt, it's all this. And then
it'll be another 2 years before he fights.
Yeah, that's what I mean. I just don't really care about this.
If I was John Jones, I would want to fight Francis more than anyone else, in my opinion. Like, I think...
Yeah.
The one, like...
Well, and the thing is, Francis doesn't even have a fight.
Well, because he's got the contract dispute.
It's just...
I want Francis to fuck off. There, I said it. Give me a... Like... Tom Aspinall, I guess. He's still up there. I'm just trying to think of other heavyweight fighters that are there. All I can think of is Cyril and Stipe.
I don't care about heavyweight at all.
Ty?
No.
Like... That's what I mean. Tom Aspinall, like... Who else actually is there?
Nobody.
What is the... Pull up the rankings for heavyweight.
It's trash. You've got that guy, Derek Lewis is fighting.
Oh, Sergey...
Is that the one?
Spinov.
Oh, yeah, him. And then you've also got... You've got... the guy he just fought as well, when it was that early stoppage. Whoever the fuck that is. I can't even remember who it is, but... Okay, I don't think you can do it in there.
So, yeah, what is his name? Sergey...
It's like another guy with almost the exact same name, and I'm like, who even is he?
Yeah, one of them's from Moldova.
I don't even know who he was when he was fighting him, but it's just like... It's just not really interesting matchups. And
well, no, heavyweight is dead. That's the problem.
The skill level at heavyweight is never really there. So like Curtis Blades is like that's the thing. Curtis Blades is still in the top 5. I
swear he's lost his like last 10 fights.
He's on a 3-fight win streak right
but
now.
I do not believe that for the life of me.
All I ever think about Curtis Blades is him getting knocked out by Lewis and Ngannou. It's like that's the thing. It's like, oh, what? I don't care about him fighting Ngannou.
I do think of the bloody elbows he put on
over him.
Yeah. So what do we got?
So we got Tui Vasa for who like he's never getting above there. No, in my
he's
opinion.
never.
Aspinall.
Unless he does it, he's there due to a Sean O'Malley.
Am I the only one who doesn't care at all? Like I couldn't care less.
It's the UK
about
media.
Any fighter, about Tom Aspinall.
Like
it's literally like that thing.
They reckon he's got the most well-rounded game. I just have never seen anything from him.
It was like when Ngannou got asked in that press conference, like Tom Aspinall was on the horizon. He was just like, who's that? And like it's kind of the same thing with Brady in my opinion. Like I mean he did sub. That's the thing as well. It's like he subbed Volkov and TKO'd fucking Sergey Spivak, and it's like Volkov. I feel like just lost.
No, Volkov.
It's such a back and forth division
ever
that
since
you can't
Volkov lost to Derek Lewis in the last 5 seconds, he has been nothing to me.
Like all these cunts in the top 15, like they're just trading wins and losses with each other, which I feel like you can't even get behind anyone because, it was like even up until recently, you still had fucking JDS and Overeem in the top 10.
Yeah, and it wasn't until they actually left the organisation that they were taken out.
It's just heavyweight, the skill level. Like I feel like it just doesn't.
It never has been though. Like, if Brock Lesnar wanted to come back, I think he gets a title shot.
And I'd fully be behind that.
Brock Lesnar beats Francis Ngannou, hands down.
I hope he does.
Hands down. Imagine the scene.
Imagine him just getting knocked out.
What if Tyson Fury just comes over to MMA and beats Francis?
I've been training grappling secretly this whole time.
I would love to. Give me Cyril versus Tyson Fury.
Yeah.
And I just watch him switch and music his face off.
Yeah.
Fuck, I hate Tyson Fury.
Same, boxing. I could never get into boxing, though.
Boxing is more rigged than MMA at the moment. And it's just so much... Like, Deontay Wilder is now ranked above Anthony Joshua.
Yeah, the fight...
Like, how? He's lost his last...
The fight selections, like, you literally have to wait...
You've got 3 fighters that are, like, the champion because you have, like, 6 titles per division. And you've got everyone else who is an absolute tin can... who has like somehow been fighting for 40 years but has only like appeared for this one mega fight. Like, who did Deontay Wilder fight on the weekend? Some bald guy that looked like a tall Steve Austin.
It's because they don't promote anybody except for the champion. Like, imagine if it was like MMA where you promote the entire top 10 and then actually get people behind them to care about because you only care about title fights in boxing. Like, imagine actually caring about anything else. But I don't care about boxing.
The last good thing to happen to boxing was Conor McGregor.
So
the current best thing about boxing, how sad is this, is Jake Paul.
It literally
and he's fighting this weekend.
It literally
we should do like a live watch along or something.
I hope Jake Paul wins. I want to keep this thing going. I want to keep it.
I want to see.
I would honestly love to see him just keep beating these people.
I just don't want to hear KSI if he loses. That's the problem. Like, you can just picture the laugh.
Oh yeah, I've been to pro boxer and you haven't.
I hate
KSI.
Oh my god!
So much.
Did you see like Luis Pineda's? Is it his name, Luis Pineda?
It's fucking. He shouldn't even have a pro boxing record.
That's ridiculous. People say, "Oh, but he's still a pro boxer. He still had professional fights."
These are 10-year-olds.
It's so easy to get a professional boxing license.
Yeah.
Don't you just have to have like a certain amount of amateur fights? Like,
well,
I don't even know if you have to have that.
You don't, because wasn't the Swarms fight was a pro fight.
Oh, okay, there's definitely loopholes around that bullshit.
But that's the thing though, like, technically him beating Swarms, he beat a pro fighter.
Yeah.
Like, and he didn't even have to have a win. Which Pineda, like, I'm sorry, I fully believe I could have knocked Pineda out in there.
I think I could beat KSI.
Yeah.
With like a few months of training.
And that's the thing, that I mean, I feel like, I don't know if UFC people even care about this, but it's just a thing to talk about anyway, but like, KSI, like, he's just avoiding anybody who could possibly actually challenge him as well.
Like, he doesn't beat anybody.
You've built this whole misfits thing, but you're not fighting any of these. Like, you're not fighting Slim. Gibb, Swingler. Like, you're not fighting any of these people.
Salt Puppy beats KSI.
Yeah,
hands down.
He probably knocks him out in 30 seconds. And
KSI has never actually shown anything good in a boxing ring.
No.
He has the windmill. This episode of The Simpsons, not even. Like, I swear he got gassed in both the Logan fights.
He's not gassed, but like, he's just able to keep throwing. But
Because there's no technique involved.
It literally just is because he has so many 10-year-old fans that know nothing about boxing and think he's the best boxer ever.
He is.
And, like, I mean...
I can't be saying that, like, when MMA fans are like they are at the moment, then I can't be. We can't be talking shit on the KSI
social
fans.
Media, it's like just with everything. Problem. It's like not even just sports, it's with everything. Like, it just allows everybody to have a voice, and the people who are always most vocal are people who literally, they really do just have nothing better to do than just post on social media.
There was a rugby game, this is like so going off of UFC 280.
I don't care. Well, we've talked about all the UFC shit.
There was a rugby game the other week, it was like a charity match and someone died. I don't know if you saw that.
No.
But it was like a charity match and someone died, and this rat-faced bitch, I think her name was like Beverly or something.
Yeah.
I think it started with B, maybe Beatrice. This rat-faced little cunt bitch is in the comments, wow, convenient that everybody starts dying when we get the vaccine. And it's like, in what fucking world? Like, people just think because they have...
So we're still doing
this. People think because they have a voice, they should open their mouths. That is wrong.
It's always people with the dumbest opinions.
It's just...
It's because if you did that in real life, people, like, can say to your face that you're a fucking stupid idiot. But then if you do it on social media, it really is...
I still have wet dreams of the bloody protesters.
Oh...
And just we were going to see the Batman, wasn't it?
That, yeah, I'm so glad we're past that.
But God, yeah, I guess we should probably bloody round it up.
Yeah, well, we've talked about the UFC shit.
Might even cut all this out. Who knows?
Nah, I reckon.
But yeah,
most of it was combat related.
That brings us to the end of the video.
Yeah.
Let us know in the comments. What do you think of UFC 280? Did you like it? What do you want to see next?
What are your predictions for upcoming things? Like, how do you think they're going to match make?
Do you see any way that Volt can beat Islam? No. But yeah, don't forget to like and subscribe, and we'll catch you on the flip side. Pow, 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 pow.
Piotr Jan was the winner.
Pound for pound, number one.
Yeah.
Alexander Volkanovski. Peace.